It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Here comes Green. Gets by Moody. Out to Van Vliet. Lobs it inside to him, and Thompson, and he'll jam it down for two. 2 minutes remaining, and the Rockets up 18 as Amen Thompson has 25.
Dante wing right. He'll move to his left. He'll fire in a three. It's offline. Rudy got the rebound and slammed it home. A new postseason career high. 27 points and a new postseason career high. 21 rebounds for the big man.
How many more years will we see you play?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Something I'll sit down with my family, my wife, and my support group and kind of just talk through it and see what happens, and just have a conversation with myself on how long I want to continue to play.
Bye-bye, LeBron. You gone. That rhymes. The Lakers are out of here. Let's take a look at the illustrious career of LeBron James, whom I'm a fan of, with the Lakers. In 2019, missed the playoffs. 2020, they won the bubble. But come on, the bubble, we're not going to count that, are we? It can't be counted on the same level as the regular championships, can it? No, it cannot. Argue with me. I defy and dare you.
But they were stuck in that bubble, PK. That made it harder.
Bull dinky crap. Come on, you LeBron lovers. Let's hear from you. What is it, 5-something zone? Yeah.
You want to call in? Yeah, 801-575-ZONE.
I want to hear all those LeBron lovers. In 21, first round exit. 22, missed the playoffs. 23, swept in the conference final. 24 first round, 25 first round. Do I detect a pattern here? Yes, I do. Rudy Gobert, 27 and 24. Danny Ray, how could you? I'm holding you personally responsible.
It's all your fault, Danny.
We got rid of the malcontent. Some senator or something said something to him on social media, and he went nuts. He couldn't stand it here. A bunch of racists that live here. And so I get that, you had to trade Mitchell, but Rudy Gobert, 27 and 24. Dom-O Nation. And the Timberwolves eliminate the Lakers in 5 games. How about that? And LeBron, yeah, he should say what he said. He doesn't know what's going on. It's just right in the moment of a disappointing playoff. He's 40 years old. The best 40-year-old ever, obviously, in the NBA. Not that there's been many of them.
Well, yeah, he just completed his 22nd NBA season.
He's a superstar of the highest level. There's just no question about that. Just don't be putting him in the same category as somebody else over there. Yeah. He's really, really good. You want him in your top 5? I'm fine with that. I don't expect 40-year-olds to be carrying teams to the championship, and he's proven he can't do that. That's for sure. And nor should he. Lakers are done. Jazz fans, did it make you doubly happy that the T-Wolves, led by Gobert's 27 and 24, eliminate the Lakers? Or is it bittersweet because it was Rudy?
Man, that's a good question.
Did it make you sad? But it's the Lakers. They're done.
Well, that's the thing. I think Jazz fans as a bunch were more than ecstatic to watch the Lakers go down in flames in the fashion they did. But then there's someone that's like, man, what could have happened if Rudy was still here in Utah?
Rudy. We'll get to some stuff that I heard driving in on NBA radio. Oh, my gosh. The callers, mainly from the East, because it's a little too early in the West, what the Lakers can do to improve. Now, several, including callers and Brian Scalabrine. The Jazz roster was mentioned prominently. Danny Ray, you will be getting some calls, apparently. And in the other game was non-competitive. The Rockets, 131-116 over the Warriors. Man, there you go as far as that goes. That is going to be a very nice series, as it has been. All sorts of controversy. Some dude I never heard of head-butted Sagoon and all that. What does that mean as far as that goes? Actually, Yak, it is the Warriors who are up 3-2. And they still have the opportunity to close it out in 6. And then Steve Kerr whining about they're hitting Curry's hand or his thumb. And then Ronnie Lott cut off both thumbs. They didn't need no thumbs.
The tip of his pinky finger, but point remains.
No, I heard Van Noy talking about Ronnie Lott saying they cut off his finger. It's what Kyle Van Noy said.
Ask Tom Homo about it. Tom was there. It was the tip of his pinky finger.
I thought that was Rocky Balboa who did that.
That was Rocky? Okay.
Didn't he say, cut me, Mick?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And tonight you got the Knicks and Pistons. And I don't think that's true, Yak. I think you got your playoff brackets a little off. I think it's the Knicks that are up 3-2. And that's at 5:30. And the Clippers and the Nuggets, Denver's up 3-2. Most improved player, somebody named Dyson Daniels. I got no clue who he is. Out of the Atlanta Hawks, I'm not going to pretend I'm all things to all people. I am not. But what I'm going to tell you to do is we're going to the NFL right now.
Hashtag NFL.
First of all, I'd like to publicly apologize to Shadur and the Sanders family for what occurred. Second of all, I want to publicly apologize to Mr. Blank, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, and the entire Falcons organization. My actions of not protecting confidential data were inexcusable. My son's actions were absolutely inexcusable. And for that, we are both deeply sorry. The NFL has taken action, and I fully respect the punishment. We take full responsibility, my son and myself, and we will not be appealing the fine in any way.
Yeah, I don't know how the son can appeal the fine. Now, shouldn't Tyrese Halliburton be held accountable for what his father did if Olbridge here, the defensive coordinator for Atlanta, is being held accountable for what his son did? And I realize he left the computer open.
It was an iPad, but yeah.
You are at home, and it probably didn't dawn on you that a family member, your lineage, was going to go in there and do that.
Well, this is a 21-year-old young man. Like, he's trying to get what he thought was some clout out of a social media moment, and it backfired spectacularly.
Blew up in his face. Yeah, it was stupid. But obviously, it was stupid.
To your point, with the Olbrich family here, obviously, that's one thing. But the Halliburton family, I will give Tyrese credit. He did essentially call his dad out in that postgame press conference.
So did Yolbridge call out his son, too?
He did, yeah.
Where's all these commentators that I see? How come they're not outraged at Tyrese Halliburton's father? Gee, I wonder why. I mean, come on. Let's have some real talk and truth here. Why aren't they outraged about his father coming out on the floor and demanding account? Why isn't the son being not held accountable? Olbridge here is being held accountable, deservedly so. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I'm just saying, where's the equity? We're outraged over here, but over there, it's not that big of a deal. Come on. I wonder about that. Jets backup Jordan Davis, man. He just can't get his body right. That's too bad. He's the Florida State guy who had that horrific leg injury at the end of the 23 season. FSU was undefeated at that point, and it all went downhill. And he had a fractured, dislocated left ankle. And at 24 years of age, I think that's how old he is, he's announcing his retirement. Yeah, he was tutelaged by Kenny Dillingham, was over there at Florida State at the time. Jacksonville, it's not going to pick up its fifth-year option on former Utes star and first-round pick Devin Lloyd. He was the 27th pick in the 22 draft. Become an unrestricted free agent after this coming season. That guy, he was quite the player for Utah. Maybe the best defensive player I've seen in 30 years for the Utes in terms of having an impact. He was incredible. I would imagine he'd still be in the league. I don't think he's going to be out of the league, but I understand things in the salary cap era. You've got to do what you got to do. And that doesn't mean he can't re-sign with them, I guess. We'll see. And this is just an unbelievable story, man. Jeff Spurbeck, he's a longtime friend and business partner of John Elway. He died yesterday. Injury suffered when he fell off a golf cart. It was reportedly driven by Elway. Injured Saturday night after attending a concert in La Quinta. I think it was some private gated community. And I guess it was one of those golf. It's not. They call it a golf cart, but it's not the traditional golf cart.
No, he was in the passenger seat, and something happened where he fell and smacked his head on the asphalt. And
I know, man.
horrid.
That's 62 years old. Wow, that's a rough one. And Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs says he stays in touch with former Vegas Raiders and Alabama Crimson Tide teammate Henry Ruggs, and said Ruggs is working out while incarcerated and is hoping for another chance in the NFL. He completes his prison term. Now, he had that horrific crash himself, driving in one of those main roads on Vegas, got way over the speed, killed a lady and killed the lady's dog. Sentenced to 3 years in prison and could be paroled as early as not this August, but August of 26. Did somebody take a chance on him? Because he was a high pick, wasn't he?
He's a first-round pick, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that could be a little bit of newsworthy here in the coming year to see what happens there. Was it a DUI too, or just?
Yeah, he was over the speed limit, and he was driving somewhere like 100 and some odd miles an hour. Just horrific. Crashed into this lady's car, caught on fire.
Just blew it up.
Yeah,
man.
Brutal.
Yeah, so we'll follow that. All right, let's move on to MLB.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Somebody has fallen out of the stands.
We need to pause here. I think everybody is just now realizing what has happened, and I'm going to be intentionally quiet here.
Now Baez waiting on a 1-2 on the way, swinging a high fly ball left field. This one's deep, going back to Senzo at the fence, looking up, and it's gone, a home run! Grand slam gives the Tigers a 7-1 lead in the third.
2-1 to Freeman. He swings and he drives one deep to right field. It is back. It is gone. A home run for Freeman. A 2-run shot, and the Dodgers lead it 8-3.
Bases loaded, one out. Slayton's 2-1. Swinging a deep drive. Left field. Down for a hit. The Blue Jays win.
Those are some highlights. In a low light, you can go look on social media. That Clemente wall, I think they call it over there in right field in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Obviously, Roberto Clemente was a star player for them and a great humanitarian. Fan fell over the 21-foot right field wall, and boy, it didn't look good. And you can see it. It's all over social media. You see him tumbling down and then smacking on the warning track there, and obviously in critical condition. I don't know what was going on there. I guess we'll get some more news as it becomes available. You heard Frederick Freeman. They pound the snot out of the Marlins.
Frederick Freeman, got
Yes. 12-7. And they have 17 hits. But the big story is Gosselin came back, I think the first time in 2 years. They've been battered the last few years with pitching. Well, they just continue to buy more and more.
Yeah, he had the Tommy John, and then he was on his way back, then injured his back last year. Right. Yeah.
And the year before, the last time he was out there, he was like 16-1. And as I like to say, I went to one Dodger game that year, and that's the one he lost.
The one lost. The one time he's lost in the last 3 years, you were at it.
Yes. I bought good seats, wanted to see him pitch, and I think they played Washington at that time. I think it was Washington with Juan Soto. Soto is now with the Mets. The Mets are doing great. They did not win. Soto's off to a so-so start. The Diamondbacks got him 4-3 as that National League West continues to be quite intriguing. Diaz and Tatis Jr. homer for the Pods, and they beat the Giants. Or I guess Tatis had 3 hits. As far as that goes, did you see that silly little bench clearing thing between the Yankees and the Orioles? What was that?
If we're going to clear benches for that.
I know. It's a play at second base, and the runner gets underneath who was it, Henderson, the shortstop.
Yeah, he just took exception to it.
Yeah, and so he's trying to get up, but he's underneath him, and there's a little contact. And next thing you know, you got to have the obligatory bullpen. Should we have what they have in basketball? If you leave the bullpen area to be involved, I mean, you're 10 minutes late as it is, and you're not going to do anything. You're just going to potentially add to the confusion. And do we need to see the bullpen catcher running out there in shin guards in his full gear?
Hey, if you don't, you get clowned on by your teammates. But yeah.
I know. So then put in a rule like they did in the NBA. Although the folks in Phoenix are furious because there was the other night, Porter Jr. comes almost into the paint, and he's not suspended. And the Suns years ago had a 3-2 lead over the Spurs.
You got absolutely.
Where Diaw and Amar Stoudemire, after Horry hip checks Nash, and just flies him into the scoreboard thing or the scores table. And they get up. They maybe send a half a foot over the sideline, but they're more running vertically rather than horizontally. And the two of those guys get suspended. And that was so bogus. Yeah, I feel for my Phoenix Suns fans. I've got family that's hardcore, and I know obviously many people. And here, Porter comes almost to the key before he's coach is pushing him in the other direction, back towards the bench.
Yeah, it was like a no.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if you're going to penalize these guys at this point, yeah.
That's a different commissioner, I understand that. But that literally took most likely a title away from Phoenix, which, like the Jazz, does not have one. They've got 2 finals. I think they may have 3 finals appearances.
Correct.
And they're 0 for 3. The Jazz are 0 for 2. And that was the year that the Spurs swept LeBron when LeBron was just getting started. No, that was the Nets. I think it was the Nets. They swept the Nets at that point. And so that was a ripoff. How about this, man? Royals, Noah Cameron. He has a no-no in the 7th in his MLB debut. Oh, my gosh. Is he another Brett Saberhagen?
Oh, okay, can I make one complaint about this? So he makes it 6 1/3 innings, gives up the hit, and they immediately yank him after like 79 pitches, PK.
He's young. He has a tender arm.
Okay.
He's barely getting started. He probably only, most he ever threw was probably 30, 40 pitches.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I look at the eras past, and Nolan Ryan's over there shaking his head like, what? 79 pitches?
The ghost of Bob Gibson. He completed like 28 games one season.
And then Tom Glavine's over there like, hey, I finished a game on like 79 pitches, so leave me alone.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. I wonder if he would have had like maybe a couple of walks and some full counts and foul balls if he has a no-no in the 8th, but he's getting near that magical 100 pitch mark. Do they take him out?
Probably.
That's what they tend to do on that. Okay, the Bees, you got an update on the Bees.
Yeah, so they won last night in Albuquerque 6-3. Game 3 in the series, actually a daytime affair today, PK. It would be a 10:50 pregame, 11:05 first pitch down there in Albuquerque. Tony Park's on the call.
All right, right on. All right, let's move on to golf.
#golf.
You got the CJ Cup Byron Nelson this week. The CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Zach Blair and Patrick Fishburne are in the field. Brent Snedeker and Jeff Ogilvy are going to be the President's captains for the 26 President's Cup. Obviously, Snedeker representing the US of A, and Jeff Ogilvy, Australia. And today, down at Black Desert, who is our title sponsor, Black Desert, Utah's premier golf resort, the LPGA gets underway in, technically it's Ivins, but we all call it St. George.
The greater St. George area.
At the Black Desert LPGA, yeah. And that's been going on. A friend of mine played in the Pro-Am yesterday, and I hate him. I asked him how'd it go. So damn much fun. Stood on the first tee, and everyone watching it announced my name. Didn't think I was nervous, but my heart was pounding. Man, there we go. He got to play with Brooke Henderson on the back nine. She is a Canadian LPGA player. Said she was so nice.
Well, I guess one other thing on the LPGA front, Allie Mulhall, a local star, making her first LPGA start at Black Desert via sponsor exemption. She's actually going to turn pro. She's not going the college route. She's going to go pro right away.
A la Tony Finau.
Yeah.
But, of course, Tony Finau would have gone to Utah.
Oh, hey. Apparently he was committed to a certain other program.
I asked Whittingham point blank.
I know.
Oh, he's a Ute. And Kyle and his hard sell. He's a Ute! Because he won a tournament. What was it? Was it Detroit? Which one did he win?
Was it the Rocket Mortgage one up there?
Or was it did he win the Canadian Open? He had those two tournaments.
He won in Minnesota and Detroit back-to-back.
Minnesota, that's what it was.
Yeah,
it's either one, but it was late in the year, the golf year, and Utah was already practicing, and Kyle got to the his press availability a little later, and I said, "Hey, did you hear about Finau?" And he was a little upset because he was taping it, but I told him, I said, "What?" And I asked him, "Who does he root?" Oh, he's a Ute. Tony Finau has that tug of war going on between BYU and Utah. Maybe one of these days he's going to have to come clean. You can't be both. Cannot be both. No. If you're both, you know what you are? You're a TV weekend sports anchor.
We're going to have to pin him down and say, Tony, which is it?
All right, let's move on to hockey.
Hashtag NHL.
Bennett out of the box, maybe a 2-on-1. Yes, it is. Bennett, right circle, walks in, shot, and he scores! Fresh off serving the penalty. Sam Bennett takes the pass, bolts into the right circle, and the Panthers are up by a 4-3 score with 4:47 to go here in the second.
And the power play starts now. Ovechkin scores! The face-off win to him. Bang, bang, see you later. Ovechkin makes it 1-0, Washington.
Washington, one of those teams that has got a bunch of young guys. Obviously, Ovechkin is not one of them, but maybe the Utah Mammoth can follow them. I'm done with the hockey club, by the way. They're done with it, even though they put it down and took it down, I should say. And
we're still evaluating.
Act like so, yeah. We'll see if the Mammoth can be like the Capitals. And they eliminated Montreal in the 5-game series win. The Panthers, they scored first, and then they went on to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they've got the 5-game series win. Jets and Blues. Winnipeg. Oh, man. The Blues, barely getting in at the end there, and then Winnipeg, the best in the regular season. Well, they go up 3-2. That was a big win. I was watching some of that one last night because that first game in basketball was quite boring with Houston just rolling over the Warriors. It was non-competitive. Tonight, you got Toronto trying to close out Ottawa. That's at 5. Vegas trying to eliminate Minnesota, 5:30. Dallas, they're up 3-2 on Colorado. Exactly what they were last year when they beat Colorado in, the Ball Arena now? In Denver. Yep. See what happens there. And then you got Edmonton, and they're trying to finish off the Kings later on at 8 o'clock. That is what is trending, and you are up to date with what we'll be talking about. What is trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There is no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Okay, Jazz fans, what is your emotion as the Lakers get eliminated? Glad for sure, but you've also got Rudy, our guy. We found him. We developed him. We made him into what he is, and to see him go off and dominate like that, is that a little bittersweet, mixed emotion? Who are you furious at? How you hanging on? Where are you? Let me know. Let Yak know. Stay with us. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Travis Hunter, said that playing both ways in football is harder than what Shohei Ohtani does in baseball. A corner and a receiver, you're basically using the same skill set. Shohei Ohtani is playing two different positions that are completely unrelated. Being a good pitcher has absolutely nothing to do with being a good hitter. That's like being really good at algebra and poetry.
You're Leonardo da Vinci. You're not Stevie Wonder. It's like, yeah, Stevie Wonder's a great drummer and harmonica player and guitar player and piano player. It's like, yeah, he's musical. Da Vinci being the greatest painter of all time and maybe our greatest inventor. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
What were you working with?
It's like Carl Lewis being good at the 100 and the 200.
What? How?
How is that even possible?
He's fast.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Whew. Nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. Now, we had on Tim Lacombe, and, he was talking about how DJ is winding it down, but I didn't think the ending was here already.
A day later, he's gone.
Yeah. Well, that seat to my left, you can get on the website and see me. How you doing out there? And then right there to my left, it's vacant. I know, when the guy's not in there, you don't get to see that, but I'm just telling you. I mean, DJ's getting up there. There's no doubt about it. I pray that he'll be back tomorrow, but who knows? When you're on the brink like that, you just don't know. No, he'll be back tomorrow. All's well. Okay, man. Hot takes or toast? How you feeling, Jazz fans? LeBron gone, but Rudy, arguably, the best game he's ever played. In 27 and 24, watching the game, you could just see how active he was, man. He was looking to dominate because the Lakers have nothing, literally nothing in the middle. And so what are they going to do there? And Rudy figures, hey, this might be my time to shine. And Anthony Edwards is not shooting well. So they from the perimeter, they didn't shoot well at all.
They missed 40 3-pointers.
I know.
7 of 47.
It's so stupid how they just keep jacking them up like that. I'll never understand. I don't care what some nerd with a white shirt and pencils in his front pocket says. I just don't care. And greasy hair, greasy smile. He says, Lord, this must be my destination. I don't understand it. But Gobert at the rim, dunk this, dunk that. Thank you. Dunk you very much. Chris Finch, the coach of Minnesota, it was obvious Gobert was electric. Let's hear what the coach has to say.
Listen, Rudy's a winner at the highest level. He drives winning. You can not like who he is, how he does it, what he looks like, etc. I mean, when you have this guy on your team, you understand what a professional and a winner is. And, he's just such a competitor as well. And he doesn't listen to the outside noise. We don't listen to the outside noise. And no one's happier for Rudy than his teammates right now, particularly Anthony. Let everybody out there on the floor know that it was Rudy's night and nobody was around to stop him.
Nobody was around to stop him. It's Rudy's night. Jazz fans, what do you think about that? Your guy that you brought up, a G leaguer, and nurtured him, and now he's gone because Donovan Mitchell didn't want to stay here? They needed some flexibility. There was no other way. That was the only way they could get flexibility, was by getting rid of both of them. And he had the fat contract. Was he worth it? Well, the Timberwolves are thinking yes right now. How do you feel about it? I was a little torn. I want to see Gobert do well. I thought he was always good to the media. He had something to say. He wouldn't duck interviews and whatnot. That's what I look for. Most fans don't care about that. I understand that completely. Or is it just the fact that the Lakers lost and so freaking be it? It don't matter as long as they gone. LeBron gone. He gone. Right? Put it up on Facebook. Jazz fans, how you hanging on? Where are you? The ultimate question. Joe, LeBron should retire already. Why? Why should LeBron retire already? I disagree with that completely. I mean, he may not be the premier player he was, but he's still really good. He wants to play. He's not. I don't think LeBron is hanging on. He may not dominate 82, but nobody plays 82 anymore anyway. And he may not dominate in the playoffs, which he hasn't for a good while. But he's still a very effective player. And he needs to take some time to reflect and see what he wants to do. You know, the word I had heard from, I got somebody who's tight with the Lakers, because he had told me years ago that the Lakers were going to get LeBron. He told me the season before, they know he's going to play out his option there, be free agent, sign with the Lakers. That's what they're anticipating. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did, saying that the All-Star festivity spiel, I want to call it the festivities, the weekend rather than the game, because the game is nonsense. Maybe they're talking about changing it and play.
It's festivities. You've nailed it.
And it is at the arena there in downtown. I don't know, whatever they're calling it now these days, in downtown L.A.
Crypto.com arena.
And so maybe he wants to be there for that, and the 25-26 season would be his last. And that makes sense. But his play on the court, it reminds me at a higher level than what Letter Carrier had. I mean, Letter Carrier retired, but he still had more in the tank. He could have played. He wasn't what he was. Same thing. LeBron isn't what he was. He's better at this age than I think Letter Carrier was. But he's still an effective ball player. So I disagree on the same sentiment that some folks might have that LeBron should retire. If he wants to come back, he's a good ball player. Spencer, today is a good day because the Lakers lost. De juro, I guess that's how you say it because that's the way DJ says it. His emotions, same as the Jazz won. Really? That's a little strong for me. Your emotions are the same as the Jazz. If the Jazz would have won themselves, the Jazz were moving on to the second round because the Lakers are out. Tron says, surprised they made the playoffs? Nah, they had a playoff team. Brian, he's more concerned that the Jazz don't blow the draft selection this year. Me too. But I think it's almost impossible to blow it. We'll see. What are we now, about 10, 11, 12 days away from the draft lottery?
We're 11 days away. It's the
12th. 11 days out. Oh, I'm starting to get nervous.
We've got the hockey club's not in the same position, but they are part of the NHL lottery, which comes up next Monday. The following Monday is the NBA. Right,
but their franchise is in a much better position. I mean, they were well over 500 this year.
Correct, and to your point, they get the first pick. It's hard to screw that up. You know who you're picking.
Right, yeah, and I think they will. When tomorrow starts to get 10 days under, I'm going to start to get nervous. I'm going to be like DJ on his wedding night. I'm going to get nervous. You know what I mean? Big things are about to happen. We'll see about that. I think they're going to win. So I think it's going to happen. The question should be what got into Rudy with 27 and 24? Well, I think they didn't even play a center, the Lakers.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes was glued to the bench.
He did not play, and he interviewed after the game. He said they told me they were going to try something different.
And I will give – did you see the Mark Williams tweet he put out last night?
I did not.
So he's the big man that they canceled the trade on due to some pretty spurious nonsense. He put out like a muted smiling face emoji like, oh, I wonder if I could have helped in that circumstance.
Maybe so. We'll never know. That trade, that was weird. He didn't pass a physical, and then he's back with Charlotte. And he plays the next game.
The Lakers executed the trade. They're the ones that asked for the trade.
Yeah.
They bring him in, fail his physical, which Charlotte's like, oh, no. He didn't fail anything. He goes right back and plays the rest of the season with Charlotte.
I know. That was weird. Maybe Charlotte has lower standards. Those people in Charlotte.
L.A. doctors got a high standard to uphold.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, they got to make sure all those celebrities look good. You know, how else is Demi Moore going to look like she's 25 years old forever? You know what I mean? And Cher, oh my gosh. What's Cher, 107 now? She still believes in life after love, though. That's for sure. She's got me, babe. Let me tell you about it. So they got a lot of stuff to be doing over there. So maybe they didn't do it. I don't know. The Lakers need some help. That's for sure. So I think, why did Rudy go off? There was nothing there to stop him. And his teammates were looking for him. And I don't watch Minnesota play every game by any stretch, but I talked about at the beginning of the postseason that I'm way into the West. Each of the series in the West had my attention. So I got rid of the Houston Warrior game fairly early. Steve Kerr pulled the plug in the third quarter, as he should. That they weren't going to win that game. Houston was just shooting the lights out of the ball and all that stuff. So I support Kerr in basically waving the white flag way earlier than you might think. And I waved the white flag on that game too. But the Western Conference game, the second game, Minnesota and the Lakers, watching that, particularly early, you could see that Gobert knew that he was onto something. It's the way he was moving, the way he's a little awkward sometimes when he gets the ball, but there was nothing there to stop him. There was one possession. It seemed like he tried to flip it over his head. It just wasn't there, but he got the rebound. I think eventually the ball got stripped from him, but he got rejected a couple of times. But it didn't deter him at all. And he just seemed like he had the fire. He was ready to go. He knew he had the opportunity to have a big game.
And that's exactly it. The other thing is, PK, we talked all the time when he was here in Utah. I remember Locke talking about screen assists. We heard that from Quinn Snyder.
Yeah.
They would mention that all the time. Well, his sliding off, like pin downs, the different screens he was setting last night, he would pin a guy down and all of a sudden just dive to the rim, and there was nobody there to stop him.
Right.
So, yeah, to your point, he knew he was going to be having free reign in the paint, and he made the most of it.
He did. And it seemed like he had a spring in his step to get some easy buckets. And most of the buckets he gets are dunks, obviously. But some dunks are harder to come by than others. And it seemed like he knew he could get easy points. I mean, Reggie Miller, when's the last time Rudy scored 20 points? And I think that was in the first half.
Yeah, he was rolling.
Yeah. Good for him, man. Good for him. I mean, obviously you got to be born and have that height. But other than the height, I don't think that there was a guarantee that he was going to be a prominent NBA player. The point I'm making is that he had to work for it. He really had to work for it. So I felt good for him. And Conley, Joe doesn't play, so I don't. And he's collecting a paycheck, so good for him. But Conley, what they say about him being one of the all-time good dudes, it's legit. Sometimes that gets blown up, and it's more image than not. Being around Conley a little bit away from the court, I think that's legit. He's a decent dude. And he's been in the league 18 years. How about that? 18 years. Wow. That's a long time. He's not a premier player. I don't know that he was ever a premier player. He was very good, and maybe he's a notch below that. But I wouldn't mind seeing Minnesota go all the way for their sakes. We'll see. You know, a lot of people are dancing, Jazz fans, on the graves of the Lakers right now. But how about if we're 2-3 series away, will it be a little melancholy? Or would you just be happy for Rudy? And I know that the Nickeil Alexander-Walker there, I think that's his name.
Yeah, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Alexander or Alexander Walker?
It's Alexander Walker.
Oh, he was just here for a cup of coffee, so to speak.
Yeah, but Joe Ingles, Mike Conley.
Ingles sits the bench.
Yeah, but
more of a cheerleader. But he's still getting a paycheck, so good for him.
Yeah, he's still in the league.
Yeah. So, and, he's trying to help in the ways that he can. So Minnesota dispatches the Lakers. The Lakers are done. What can the Lakers do to get better? Wow, man, this morning driving in, listening to the NBA Network, a lot of Jazz names mentioned. We'll get to that next. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The artist of the day. It is Tug McGraw's son, former Mets and Phillies reliever, we believe, Tim McGraw. His 58th birthday today. It is brought to you by Live Nation for all the live concerts and events in 2025. Check out livenation.com. Tim McGraw, the spouse of Have a Little Faith Hill. So funny.
Have a Little Faith Hill. That's a good little line. That's a good line there.
Do you got faith in Jazz management being able to do the right thing? Because I'm driving in this morning well before the light of day. And I should be able to claim that on my taxes because I listen to a lot of that sports stuff on that serious stuff. And I get information. And so Scalabrini's talking about the Lakers. Obviously, them being eliminated is a topic. Depending on where you are in the country, it's the topic. And it is the Lakers, and it's LeBron, and they're always going to be newsworthy. He was talking about the big hole that they've got in the middle, the donut, for sure. They don't have anybody. They literally didn't even play anybody who was even considered a center. And he said that the answer to the Lakers' problems, you know what he said, Yak? Can you imagine?
Would be one Walker J. Kessler.
Yes.
And I just put J in there for fun.
The future spouse of Miss America.
Yep.
If they get married and all that stuff. I don't know about that. Yes, he went right to Walker Kessler.
He's not the only one.
He's not the... That means there are others then.
I saw it last night on social media. People were pontificating what the Lakers might do in the offseason.
Yes. And Scalabrini, who does the TV or the radio for the Celtics?
He's the TV analyst. At least I know part-time he does TV.
Yeah, and then he does the NBA radio in the morning. And so he at least has some form of a relationship with Danny Ray. And he says Danny Ray covets the Lakers pick. Now, what pick is that?
Hold on.
Because they have the Lakers pick protected in 27, right? Protected top 4, I guess.
Correct. They have in 27. I'm just looking to double check to see where the next one is up for.
Is it 31? Anyway, the draft pick that they've got that would be unprotected, that he's excited about getting that pick. It's just Scalabrini is saying what Ainge wants. And you never know what's going to happen as far as a team being good or bad and all that stuff. Because, they still have Doncic. And what do? And the Lakers are an attractive organization, obviously a destination. It seems like that they want to have that opportunity to go there, a lot of players.
It is the 2031 pick. That's the next one they can convey.
So with that in mind, would you do that? Because then they took a call. I think it was Scalabrini said this too. Mentioned another guy. You know who the other guy was on the Jazz? I thought it could really help them. If they have some type of deal in which they give away a draft choice in Austin Reeves. He went right to Colin Sexton.
I was going to say, it's got to be Sexton.
Yeah. And then a caller from North Carolina. He went right to Lowry Markkanen. So everything that ails the Lakers is right here. The solutions, the opportunity to get better resides right here in Salt Lake City, Utah. How about that? You buy that?
Get Danny Ray on the phone, Lakers.
I mean, certainly he should listen.
He'll always listen.
But another pick down the line in Austin Reeves. Reeves is a nice player, particularly where he came from.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's an undrafted free agent. And
I would take Reeves as a bench role. Oh, he's a starter caliber guy now.
But for Kessler, for Sexton, for Markkanen, no, and no. I don't think so. I got to get more. And maybe Reeves can be a better player if he takes on a more prominent role, but I don't need better players on losing teams. I need better players on winning teams. We saw it with the Jazz this year. These guys like Johnny Juzang would have big games and Sensabaugh. I mean, those guys are nothing but role players. So they can go ahead and go off. But if you can go off on a playoff winning team, that's going to catch my attention. It's nothing against those guys because they haven't had the opportunity to play on those teams. And for, Markkanen, literally everything he does is with a losing team. And I think he's got immense talent and can be on a winning team for sure. But I'm hesitant to blow up a guy like Reeves, who is decent. What they were talking about this morning really didn't get me excited from the Jazz perspective, giving up those guys.
There needs to be more if you're going to.
Yeah, and I just don't know what else the Lakers have. I mean, they
don't.
Got an assortment of Hachimura.
Yeah, no.
So he's okay.
Yeah, Rui's not going to do it for you.
But they got a bunch of guys like him already.
Yeah.
So
Jazz already know what Jared Vanderbilt is like.
Which is nothing. I mean, he's a nice big guy, but he's not going to win you anything. I mean, Redick barely would play him. Okay, well, coming up, where is LeBron on the list? What is his leg OC? We've got a Jazz expert who's going to join us. He watches every single game and has for many years. Nobody knows the Jazz more like this guy. He'll join us next as my guest host sitting in right here at 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.